Hello, my name is Christof Bernau from the Center for Agroecology and Sustainable Food Systems, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the environmental conditions that promote seed germination and seedling development, and then how we can use greenhouse infrastructure and similar facilities, as well as what you might have at home, whether that's a windowsill or otherwise, as a means of creating optimal environmental conditions to promote crop development. So when we think about seeds germinating and seeds developing, there are a few things that we have some degree of control over and that we would like to influence in a direction that enhances crop growth. One is temperature. We think about managing temperature within the optimal range for seeds to germinate and subsequently for seeds to develop. In a greenhouse setting, we'd think about managing temperature by capturing solar radiation in a structure like this. The sun is coming into the structure, and then because it's a contained space, that elevates temperature. At home, that could be in a sunny windowsill. It could be if you had a small little like hobby-sized greenhouse in your backyard. It could also be through something like the humidome, which is a plastic covering that fits over your typical 10-20 size tray. When we think about air circulation and cooling, we have some other means to take care of these. Air circulation in a structure like this happens in 3 or 4 different ways. It happens through outside air coming in through the open doors, also through the side vents that you see here, which in this case are controlled electrically to open, and that allows cool air to come into the house. And then the other place where we get air circulation and cooling is up on the ridge line. This greenhouse has a vent that runs the full length of the house. As air heats, it rises, and then it pushes its way towards the ceiling, and then if we open the roof, we can exhaust hot air out. And so cooling and circulation are two things that happen hand in hand. We want the houses to warm up, but we don't want them to overheat, especially for cooler season crops like brassicas and lettuces and such. And then we also, for all crops, really need to think about promoting air circulation. We want air movement more or less at all times, because when you have stale, stagnant air, and then especially if you have excess moisture present, that tends to promote the presence of fungal pathogens, particularly the damping off organisms, Pythium, Rhizoctonia, Fusarium, all of which can take down thousands of seedlings in a very, very short period of time. So air circulation is absolutely pivotal. The other thing that we want to think about is water delivery. How are we going to deliver water? In this house, we have the ability to deliver water with handheld hose-operated instruments, as well as an overhead spray system that's on an automated controller. And that allows us to deliver water on a consistent schedule, even if we're off busy in the field, doing work outside in the ground and not able to make it back to the greenhouse. For the most part, our automated system allows for water to be delivered at the right amount at the right time. All right, so here is the overhead system and what the kind of fine droplets look like. So provides a real nice fine, gentle mist. Doesn't disrupt the soil, doesn't shift the balance and the depth at which seeds are sown, but if run long enough, we can water to the full depth of the container. And we'll get more into what that looks like in subsequent talks. On a home scale, you're going to think a little bit about temperature and air circulation, partly by your location. You certainly want to promote air movement. That could be an open window, that could be moving plants outside. If you're using a humidome, that could mean tilting or lifting the humidome up and off of the crop so that air can circulate in and under, even as you're getting some warming benefit. And then watering by hand, that might be with a hose implement if you're outside. It might be with a watering can, or even moving your plants on into your kitchen sink to deliver water. So all of everything that we think about sort of on a garden scale and on a farm scale can absolutely be adapted. The fundamental principles are uniform, whether we're on a garden scale, field scale, or a home scale. It's a matter of adapting the basic principles to the scale and the resources that you have available to meet plant needs and grow optimally healthy young seedlings. So I mentioned on a home scale the idea of heating happening with something like this acrylic or plastic little container. This particular one happens to be designed to fit over the 1020 shaped trays. With this over the top of your seedlings or germinating seeds, you can create a much, much warmer environment in a sunny location. However, you also have to be aware of the fact that things could overheat very quickly with this plastic in the full sun. And so oftentimes what we're going to think about is there a way I could prop one end up like this so that I get a little bit of air circulation, a little bit of cooling happening, while simultaneously still getting some of the benefits of heating? Or maybe I even take some little sticks or popsicle sticks or something and I levitate the whole thing up and over. So again, I get some of the benefits of heating, but simultaneously I get some circulation and cooling, because we don't want to create a stale, stagnant environment where fungi can proliferate, and we also don't want to create such a hot environment that our seed and seedlings might suffer. So thank you for listening. That was really a brief summary of thinking about how to manage environmental conditions for germination and development, how we might do it on a greenhouse scale, and also how you might do it at home. To learn more and go into greater depth on these things, on the Canvas website, we'll have sort of long-form videos that cover the same subjects so that you can go deeper. Thanks so much.